Hey everybody, it's Miss A and I'm here with a recap video on our quadrilaterals. This was the second part of our standards, being able to identify quadrilaterals, being able to identify 2D shapes by their attributes. Now, with quadrilaterals, most of the identification is through parallel sides. Now, I did not do a video on lines, so I will do that in a little bit. That was actually taught by my sub, so I will do a video on lines in just a moment. But most quadrilaterals are identified, their attribute that we're looking for. And guys, this is super important. You have to know the attributes. You will take a quiz and you will have to identify the quadrilaterals by their attributes. And we know with quadrilaterals, we are looking at parallel sides. We're looking at our sides to talk about it. Now, a quadrilateral is a four-sided shape with four angles. That's what a quadrilateral is. So any shape that has four sides is a quadrilateral. So something that looks like this is a quadrilateral. That one's kind of a little bit scary there. It looks a little like a triangle, but it is a quadrilateral. This is a quadrilateral. This is a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral are four-sided shapes. The children will have to identify quadrilaterals by all the names that qualify. So they do need to look for those factors, those attributes that they have in common. So, for example, we have a trapezoid. And a trapezoid has one set of parallel lines. And that would be this one and this one. We use an arrow to indicate parallel lines. Now, a trapezoid can be turned on its side, so we don't want to say that it has to be the top and bottom. What we know is that there's one set of parallel lines, and eventually these two here would be intersecting, because if we were to extend it, it would eventually touch up here. So, parallel, or trapezoid, one set of parallel lines. A trapezoid is also a quadrilateral, because all four-sided shapes are quadrilaterals. They will have to identify the different names of shapes that they qualify based on those attributes. So another quadrilateral that we have is a parallelogram. A parallelogram has two sides, or two sets of parallel sides. Two sets of parallel sides. Two sets of parallel sides. That's a parallelogram. Parallelogram. A parallelogram is also a quadrilateral, because all four-sided shapes are quadrilateral. That's like the umbrella. Quadrilateral is the umbrella. We also have parallel side, or two sets of parallel sides. A rectangle would also qualify as a parallelogram, because a rectangle has two sets of parallel sides, but in addition, a rectangle also has four right angles. So this is a rectangle, which would also fall under a parallelogram. Another parallelogram would also be a square. A square has two sets of parallel sides. Two sets parallel. Also four right angles, which would make a square a rectangle, and we know that. And it also has four sides equal length. And we also have a rhombus. A rhombus has two sides parallel, so two sets parallel. So a parallelogram is also a rhombus. M-B-U-S. So you see that a parallelogram could be called a parallelogram, also would be called a quadrilateral, rectangle, square, and a rhombus could all fall under that. It has two sets of parallel sides. And it has four sides equal in length. So a square is a rhombus, but a rhombus can't be a square because a attribute of a square is those four right angles, and rhombuses do not have that. So if we were to have a picture of a square is also a rectangle, which is also a parallelogram, which is also a quadrilateral. Oh, no, it's a rhombus too. Kind of start from the bottom one and work my way up. It goes that way, and it goes that way, it can go that way, and then the umbrella, which is what all four-sided shapes are, is a quadrilateral. So that's what they need to understand as far as quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals have to be identified by their attributes. Most of the attributes are parallel sides. We've got our trapezoid. We have our rhombus, square, rectangle, and parallelogram. And as you can see, they do fall under different names based on that attribute. So when they do take their test, they will have to be able to identify each shape by its attributes. So my suggestion is that the kids really remember those attributes, and you can see them when you're looking at the picture, so it's not something they should have to memorize. You can look at this and see that these two sides are parallel. These two are intersecting. You can see that these four, and it will be drawn better than my picture, but these four lines are equal in length, plus the opposite sides are parallel. So two sets of parallel, four sides equal in length. You can see here that all sides are equal, four right angles, and and two sets of parallel lines, top, bottom, left, and right. And here's a rectangle. Four right angles, two sets parallel, and then four right angles and two sets parallel. And then here you can see that there are two sets parallel, so there's not right angles. They only, when they talk about angles in quadrilaterals, it's just to express the right angles. Everything else, I can look here and I can see, well, this is an obtuse angle, this is obtuse, this is right, this is right. They don't need to know that. What they need to know are those attributes of the parallel sides, and just with the square and the rectangle, that they have right angles. I hope this video helps. Stay calm, everybody. Hope to see you soon.